Hey, good afternoon, guys. Out doing a little scout today. I still got roughly a week before hunting season starts for pretty much anything here in the part of Mass that I'm in. I wanted to talk a little bit about survival priorities today. This is something I generally teach in my basic course. A lot of it, I think, is pretty common sense stuff, but I throw it in the basic course because, you know, we always have new students that really don't know anything. So I've never really thought about shooting a video on this particular thing. There's lots of videos out there that do talk about it. Again, I think probably because I think it's very common sense stuff. There was a discussion on a website a couple nights ago that kind of made me think a little bit and ultimately prompted, you know, the shooting of this video. So let's first go over, you know, the 6 survival priorities. We'll talk a little bit about that. Generally, I have a whiteboard out at my classes, so I can write these things down, you know, and students can go ahead and just look at that as I talk about them. Again, I'm just out on a scout, so I apologize for not having a whiteboard here for you guys to see it, but maybe I can do some editing in a way that, you know, it'll be up there for you guys to see a little bit better. But so let's go over the 6 priorities in no particular order, and we'll get to that. So one of the priorities is fire, obviously. Another one would be shelter. Then you have water. Then you have food. Then you have first aid and or hygiene. Those kind of go hand in hand with, you know, some different items you can carry that will affect, you know, both of those tasks. And then the 6th being either search and rescue, in which case you're looking to be rescued, or self-rescue, which entails some sort of navigation so you can get yourself out of the situation. So going back to, you know, the discussion that was had a couple nights ago, and in that discussion, mind you, there was some pretty well-known names, pretty, you know, people that are high up on the food chain, so to speak, in the survival community. And what really got me thinking was, and made me believe that maybe it's not so common sense, is people tend to get so tunnel vision or so focused in set ways that, you know, they can't think, you know, maybe outside the box, or whatever you want to call that. And a scenario was brought up based off of these, you know, survival priorities, the 6 of them. Now, mind you, it's almost like a discussion on knives again, and people are so set in their ways sometimes that they can't think differently. So it could be argued that, you know, fire is more important than shelter, you know, shelter more important than fire, so on and so forth. And what I tell all my students, and here comes the common sense for you guys, I'm not trying to look like a rocket scientist here because I'm not, but the common sense behind the 6 survival priorities is these 6 priorities are never going to change. They're always the same. You always have these 6 basic survival priorities, always. What changes and what makes each one of them become more important maybe than the other is the situation. Situation will dictate 100% of the time which one of those priorities is the most important for that situation. So there you have it, common sense in a nutshell. During the discussion the other night, a scenario was brought up, and you know, most of us know anyway that, you know, dealing with survival, wilderness survival, stuff like that, the main concern for you is maintaining your body's core temperature, you know, pretty much period. So going off the 6 basic survival priorities, obviously fire is huge. fire does a lot for you, as we know. It keeps you warm, helps maintain your body core temperature, allows you to cook food, eating, your metabolism, helps control body core temperature. It disinfects your water. Again, hydration affects your body's core temperature. So fire is obviously key. Shelter, getting yourself out of the elements, also is another form of maintaining your body's core temperature. Here's where I think, people get so tunnel vision and can't, think differently in some cases. The scenario was, you go out and you break your leg. Well, out of those 6 survival priorities, which one becomes the most important at that time? Obviously, it's first aid. Now, you can't then dismiss the rest of the survival priorities. They're all still important. Just the most important one at that time is first aid. Once you, immobilize your broken leg or let's just say treat it for sake of purpose here, then you go back to what's the next important task, and again, that's situation dependent. It may not be fire. You may need shelter before fire, so on and so forth. But the point of the discussion here is, people get so focused on the 50-meter target that they can't think beyond that. And well, it's body core temperature. It's body core temperature, and overall, the Met TC, or the #1 answer to that is yeah, it's body core temperature. But if you have a first aid or a medical need, that becomes more important than anything else at the moment. And again, once you treat that situation medically, then you move on to the next priority, again dependent on the situation that you're in. So just a quick video, guys, again, on at least the way I think. I thought it was pretty common sense stuff, but apparently it's not. So I figured I'd share that with all you guys. I'm probably gonna catch hell for this video. I've had a couple past videos, a lot of dislikes popping up, for whatever reason, but hey, to each his own. A lot of the things I do is the way I do them and the way I think, so not everybody has to agree with that by any means. So I appreciate you joining me for this quick one. Hopefully opened up some eyes. If not, then that's okay too, but I appreciate your support, I appreciate your views, and until the next one, take care.